Blackface minstrelsy is the name of a form of entertainment performed by whites in blackface. Blackface is the name for the theatrical makeup white performers use to represent black persons. The blackface minstrel show began in the early 1830s. Stereotypes enacted by the stocked characters of blackface minstrelsy have played and continue to play a powerful role in shaping, codifying, and proliferating perceptions of and prejudices about African Americans. It was the white comic actor Thomas D. Rice whose song Jump Jim Crow vaulted blackface minstrelsy into the national spotlight. By 1848, blackface minstrel shows had become the national art form. United States historians have tied the rise of blackface minstrel shows to the progress of the abolitionist movement. But Frederick Douglass condemned blackface minstrelsy as a racist invention of prejudiced Northern whites. In the 1850s, Southern pro-slavery writers used blackface minstrelsy in its format to transform Uncle Tom's Cabin from an anti-slavery novel into a racist extravaganza. By correlating Stowe's sympathetic portrayal of slaves with the tropes and types of minstrelsy, these Tom shows, as they were then called, turned Uncle Tom's Cabin topsy-turvy. Blackface minstrelsy lost much of its popularity during and after the Civil War. It ended entirely with the United States Civil Rights Movement of the 1960s. In 1998, Michael Paul Rogan inaugurated a significant revisionist understanding of the role it played in United States history when he described blackface minstrelsy as the portal through which African American music, comedy, and dance entered the white American mainstream. White pop music performers from Elvis Presley and Janis Joplin to Eminem and Miley Cyrus have appropriated and reinvented the blackface story to suit their purposes. For Rogan, blackface minstrelsy also figured as the crucible for the formation of a new national identity. In Rogan's view, it was the blackface masquerade that paradoxically made it possible for immigrant Europeans to become white Americans. Here's how. When Irish and Jewish immigrants put on blackface, the blackface, magically transformed immigrants into Americans by differentiating them from the black Americans through whom they spoke. Eric Lott has recently extended Rogan's insight in his 2016 monograph, Black Mirror, where he argued that the black mask offered whites a way to play with the collective fears of a degraded and threatening and male other, while at the same time maintaining some symbolic control over them. According to African-American critic Frank Wilderson, Dartmouth class of 1978, blackface minstrelsy does not exactly reproduce blackness. It activates fantasies of blackness that are crucial to the reproduction of white national selfhood. Whites need blackface minstrelsy, he claims, to see themselves intimately aligned with the figure who reveals the violence and the guilt they, whites, need to disavow. Lott, Rogan, and Wilderson have released blackface minstrelsy from the confines of a specific historical period to show how it functions as a kind of transhistorical metagenre that supplies well springs that United States cultural productions continue to draw upon. stock structures and stock types from blackface minstrelsy are clearly at work in Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. When you read them, I'll ask you whether you can discern their phantom presence in Whitman's Song of Myself, or Moby Dick, or The Scarlet Letter, or Emerson's essay, Experience. After you read it, are you certain, or will you be certain, that such figures are altogether absent from Stowe's novel? What would you say if you were to find traces of blackface minstrelsy in any of these works?